Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Daily D. If you're watching this, go down below, click on the subscribe link. It would really make me feel good if I saw that people were subscribing like you. So I could, get notified. So I can notify you when we update a new video. So today's topic is skills, and skills pay the bills. I think I've said that many times to many of my team members or friends and family. Now, I want to talk to you about skills in a way that I've learned them, okay? See, I used to think skills were anything that you could say that you could do. Right? I have the skill of, right? I know these things. But if you really think about skills are something that we possess inherently, but skills definitely, we are compensated in the world, not by our employer, in the world for the uniqueness of our skills and our abilities. Meaning we have to be able to do something that somebody else probably can't do or can't do as good as us. In fact, I believe the people that get the farthest in life are the people who have skills that just can't be replaced very easily. And I think that is something that is misunderstood today. So in the last 12 years, I've had the ability to interview at least 1,000 people. And over the course of those 12 years, I've really come down to honing, if you will, which narrowing down what it is I'm looking for in people today and what it is that I don't like in people today. And I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean, I just wouldn't hire certain people. And what it really comes down to me is what skills do they possess? And many people think, well, I have to have an education. I had to have gone to school. I had to have, something in my background. Well, the honest truth is no. The honest truth is you don't need any of those things to get a job here with us, nor do you need those to be successful in life. You may need some of those skills to apply as a doctor or engineer or a lawyer, right? Those things may be required, or certification, a nurse, anything in the medical field. But here, or at least in our organizations, we don't necessarily need any of these things. We just need a few things that you need to possess and skills. Let's talk about what some of those skills are. So I think about skills, I think about those unique things that you can do. Now, many people believe that their ability to communicate, like, oh, I'm really good at customer service, is a skill. And that is, again, the more money, by the way, if you want to make more money in life, anywhere, you have to have a skill that is hard to replace. Do you think having good customer service skills is a hard thing to replace? Many people would say, well, I think I'm good at that. Well, can somebody else be just as good as you? And the answer is probably yes. And because of that, now you cannot get paid very much and you're pretty easily replaceable. So customer service skills is probably not something we're looking to hire for. It's just something you should have. In fact, I believe customer service skills are what we call equals manners. If you have good manners, then you're probably a good person. So there you go. Now, skills could be things such as I am very good with computers. Now, that's still very vague in general. Anybody could do that. So when somebody tells me they're good with computers, I'd say, okay, well, tell me what specifically you are good with computers, right? What do you mean? Well, tell me what you think you are good at when it comes to computers. Well, some people could take it really technical and they could say, well, I could take apart and put together a computer pretty quickly. I understand the mechanics and the software and the operating system, and they could go into detail, and that would make me very impressed. But it probably wouldn't, for my job, wouldn't really matter. But then there could be somebody who could say, well, look, I'm very good when it comes to computers. What I mean by that is I have a typing speed of this. I know Microsoft, I know Google, I know whatever else. They go into detail. I know a CRM, and those show me that they possess some skills. Now, they may still not be very high skills because, again, those are generalities. People should be good at those things. It's just today's world, right? So then I'd say, okay, well, tell me about maybe some of your career in past. Well, then when they start experiencing or telling me what they did in the past, I'm looking for specific things. What am I looking for as an employer? And I'm looking for skills. What are some skills that are irreplaceable? So if you told me I worked at a job and I was the only person who did this, and these are the 3 steps that it took to get there, and what I did is I helped clients get from A to Z, right? Maybe the skills that you referenced in there are not very not very general. They're specific to that employer, but at least it told me that you have a systematic process and you're able to follow procedures or follow orders, if you will. That teaches me that you have good skills. You're a listener. You're a thinker. So I'm looking for thinkers. I'm looking for skills people. Now I can go on and on about what type of skills I'm looking for, but really here's the deal, right? I think many people today take for granted the ability to even get employed. And that's something that is just baffling to me, right? We have people who apply for jobs that they're just not even qualified for because they believe the world should just give them a job. some people don't deserve jobs. Some people don't deserve a specific job, or maybe they deserve a job, but just not in a career that pays them $10 an hour. Maybe they need somebody that pays them $4 or $2 or $1. Now, I know obviously that's somewhat against the law in the United States, but what I would tell you here is that some people need to up their skills in order for them to be employable, and then some people need to up their skills so they could be, they can make more money. So your income today, anybody's income, is directly in relations to what skills you possess. It's directly in relation. So if you think you should get paid more, then you need to get more skills. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm telling you that somebody today is not skillful in any way, shape, or form. I'm just here to tell you that if you are in a position today and you feel like you need to get compensated more, tell yourself or look in the mirror and say, David, or in my case, David, right? What skills have you gained over the last X amount of days, years, or months that makes me believe that I should have, more money, right? And if you really can justify that and say, well, I have the XYZ skills and I've gotten this skill and this skill and this skill, and then you would say, okay, well, how easily could somebody get those skills and how easily are they replaceable? Right? Meaning, can they hire somebody that has these same skills as me? And if you say, well, yes, they could, well, then those aren't real skills, right? They have to be unique talents. They have to be unique abilities. They have to be something that I have to, as an employer, say, gosh, if we lost them, it'd be pretty detrimental. You see? So think about those skills, right? Now, I look at this thing and I think about some of the things that I've possessed or taught people over the years that I know for a fact, you take low-level resources and you maximize those things. I've taught people who had no skills to having a lot of skills. And they've had to gain those skills through experience, through trial and error, if you will, through osmosis, which means through the draining, if you will, of these skills through all the other employees and teams on our team. And so think about the people that you know today who are looking for a job, or think about yourself and somebody who's looking to get employed, and think about how you need to up your skills, okay? If you want to get more money, you got to get more skills. Now, I want to share with you one unique thing that I've noticed over the years about skills and how those things work today, okay? And that uniqueness really turns and relates to, as it relates to those who want to have more money and be more successful and those who don't. Now, I want to share this with you because this is something that I've noticed, and it really is an observational thing. It doesn't mean it's science or anything, but I'll tell you, I bet you've witnessed it too. So, typically people who have been given less in life, less fortunate, who have not given opportunity, who have not had the best opportunities in let's call it chance to succeed, are typically those people who do succeed in life. And I say that because when I look at some of the people I've employed over the years, I always look for the ones that have stood out. And 95% of the people who stand out are those who come from humble beginnings. And we'll call it humble, but really what it means, they're poor, or they came from a bad environment, or they didn't have a great family. And it usually means that. Now, some people who say they don't come from great families and say they don't come from money, I know there's a lot of people out there who aren't successful too. Now, the reason those people aren't is because they actually were in a good family. They just don't want to admit that, or maybe. Or they never understood that it takes a lot of work and energy to be successful. I've met many doctors, lawyers, people of success today that just didn't have the benefits that some others did when they were young, when they were growing up. They didn't have the success path. Nobody believed in them. Nobody gave them the opportunity because they were less than, if you will. I believe, in fact, I believe immigrants, for an example, are the people who make this country. Why? They've come from other countries who typically in those countries, they were never going to give an opportunity. They were going to be required to go to the military, or they're going to be required to be housewives, or they were going to be required to be something that the country was going to mandate them to be. And the government was never going to allow them to make money or to succeed or to have anything great. When you see those things and they come to our country where it's the opposite, where anything is possible, whoa, changes the game for them because they realize what it could have been. And now they know they can make it whatever they want it to be. Now, obviously there's a very thin line from those immigrants who just walk across the border here, as opposed to those who have to fight, and and go through so much to find a way from another continent, which means they have to come on a boat or a plane or something. That's more of a commitment than just, hey, I'm just going to try to swim across this river. The people that swim across the river, don't get me wrong, they're probably going to be successful, and then maybe they'll figure it out. But they're definitely not going to work as hard as somebody who had to try to find a way across the world. That's a commitment, just to be clear. So I hope that skills and commitment level, the limit of resources as an individual, really drive people to be successful. And many of you are probably going through the struggle. And I want you to take one last thing here from this, which is I need you to take some appreciation and respect for yourself, for those around you, but more importantly, for those who have really worked their butt off to get where they're at. And I need you to tell yourself, am I that person or am I not? And if I am, how much further can I take it? And if I'm not, what the heck do I need to do to change right now to make a commitment, to become better, to get more skills, to be more persistent, to be more consistent, to be a better person, and to deliver more to my employer so that I can bring my skills up and bring my income up. All right, I wish you nothing but success, health, wealth, and most importantly, freedom. Thank you.